Chamber Connections is brought to you by La Quinta Inn and Suites of Dublin. Wake up on the bright side at La Quinta Inn and Suites. And now, Chamber Connections with host Pilar Archila.
Welcome, I'm Pilar Archila with Pure Gold. I'm here with David Davis. He is the owner and operator of our local McDonald's and also in the Central Georgia. And also, he's one of the board at the Chamber of Commerce. How are you today?
Good, very good. Nice to be here.
It's nice meeting you. I would love to know more about you. Like, are you from this area?
Well, I've been here for about 32 years. I moved here when I was in middle school, and so I'm not a native, but pretty close to it.
Where were you born?
I was born in Ohio.
Oh,
So,
I lived several years in Minnesota, not too far.
I've been here a long time, but some of my friends still consider me a Yankee. But
Yes. So you actually live in Dublin?
yes, I live in Dublin.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
How is it for you? I mean, since when you started owning the McDonald's? It's been recently? It's been for many years?
No, I started working when I was in high school, and I went right into it out of high school. My dad was the operator of the McDonald's, and that's what brought us to Dublin.
Yes.
And so he was here, and I went into it, and I've done that ever since. So yeah, I've been involved with it for
almost all your life.
All my adult life.
Yes.
And as an operator for about the last 22 years.
Did you know that my oldest son, his very first job in Tampa, Florida, was at McDonald's?
Is that right?
Yeah, he was 15. He was dying to work, and it was the only place that he could go, walk to work.
Right.
And he worked at McDonald's. Now he's an architect. Actually, he graduated from Georgia Tech with his master's, and he worked at Georgia Tech. He's the architect there. But he will tell you in a heartbeat, he loved working for McDonald's.
Well, I hear that a lot. There's a lot of people that I come across that they say, "Well, that was my first job." And,
it was his first.
And it's not easy work, but I think it teaches some discipline and work ethic and work habits and the way to get out and just learn how to start your working career. So
yes, I think it's great. If a child wants to work, I think it's wonderful. So they learn how to. That is not easy. Just asking the parents, So you recently became a board member of the Chamber of Commerce.
yes.
How long is the period that you are a board member? Is it a 1 year, 2, 3 year?
It's 3 years.
Okay.
To be a board member. So McDonald's, and we've been a member as a business for many years in
Right.
the chamber, and Willie had been after me for a little while to entertain
To
the
serve.
thoughts of serving, and so this was a good time, and the spots were opened up, and so I felt it was an opportunity to do my duty and to serve, and hopefully expand the chamber and the businesses that are involved in it. So.
Yes. Why do you think it's important for businesses or small business, medium or large, to be members of the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, it's a thing where there's the activities that the chamber has, whether you're a board member or not. The business after hours, they have business and breakfast, and just those type meetings. There's so much networking, and there's so many resources here in Dublin and Lawrence County that you just don't realize are there until you get out. You talk to people. At the last meeting, I came across 3 or 4 people that gave me their business card, and
Yes.
and we have an opportunity to do business together.
Exactly,
And,
exposure and everything.
right, and so it is real important to be a member of the chamber. Again, I think sometimes some businesses don't realize that the opportunities that are there and the businesses and the resources that we have here in Dublin by not getting involved and networking with other people. So.
Yeah, and I think, like, what you mentioned, sometimes we are members of the chamber, but we cannot actually serve on the board because of our schedules. But it's great that you finally get a chance to do that, to serve on the board. Do you attend, well, of course you do attend business after hours. I saw you in the last one, and people were teasing me. Once again, I won. Every time we go, I win something. I end up winning. And they tease me that there is something.
The fix is in. So.
Yeah, exactly. I have my pool. I have the people I know in there.
Okay.
So you, of course, because of the type of business that you have, a lot of people know you, and a lot of people, come and to your McDonald's. I heard something at the Business After Hours. Did you mention that you're going to rebuild the one on 441?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we are, and that's just, that's a great example. There were several people at the Business After Hours that were aware of that, but January the 5th, we're going to close the one that's there now, and we're going to level it, and we're going to build a new store. And
but in the same place?
Same place. So
they're going to demolish?
Yeah, we'll be closed for about 3 months, and
a brand new
store will be there. So
what are we going to have there? I mean,
well,
different than what we have.
Well, the facility obviously will be totally different.
Right.
It will have, it'll be much bigger. There at the Interstate store,
Yes.
we get a lot of large groups, buses, and that kind of
Yes.
thing. So that's the first thing. It'll be a lot bigger. It'll have a much modern look than the ones there. The one that's there now has been there since 1980, so it's been well used.
Yes.
And so it'll really.
It's going to have a playground and everything, or this one.
It will not have a playground, unfortunately, but just because of the size of this building, we don't have the room to put that playground on there as well. So we're going to.
Plus, I guess the majority of people are people that are coming and going through the I-16, and they're just come to eat and keep going wherever they're going.
That's right.
I imagine so.
Yeah, a lot of times there's. They don't want to stay and play. They want to get their food and
get going.
And get going. So yeah, it'll be a new store. It'll have a new service experience as far as the front counter and the way it'll be different than the store in town. And that store, as far as the way you order and the way you get their food, obviously it'll have all the latest equipment and innovations that McDonald's is putting into their stores. They're always trying to think of new ways to make things more efficient, more easier to use, and so again, it'll be a new store. It's time. That one's been well used. So,
well, that's good.
Looking forward to it.
And I like the one also, by Home Depot.
Yeah.
I like that, and my grandchildren love that too.
Yeah.
Who is your family?
I am married to Allison Davis. Was Allison Smith. She is a native from Dublin, so that gets me off the hook.
When people start talking about Yankee.
That's right. Yeah, but Allison's my wife. We've been married for July will be 25 years.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, I have 2 kids, 2 boys, Wesley and Jonathan, and they're into sports. Wesley's a soccer player. Jonathan's the swimmer.
No.
And so they're into sports, and Wesley's the guitarist, and Jonathan's the painter. So they're into other things
artists.
as well.
They're very artistic.
Yes, very.
Do they live here in Dublin, or they're already?
Oh, yeah.
They're still in
Yes,
Dublin.
Wesley's he's a junior at Trinity Christian School. and Jonathan is in the 8th grade at Trinity as well. So.
Okay.
Yep.
That's good. And your wife works here in Dublin?
She's not working now. Well, she's working raising 2 boys.
Oh,
so,
let me tell you, that's a full-time job.
I shouldn't say she's not working, but she's a critical care nurse by trade, and she did that for several years. And a few years ago, she put that to the side to concentrate on the family and the boys. And
I think that's very wise.
Yeah. So real happy that she's there and doing that. And I know my boys are. They sometimes they think that she should be working, but it's what they don't know that they're missing if she wasn't.
They
there.
have no
That's
idea.
Right.
Yes,
That's right. So.
I was always with my sons, and once they left for college, now that's when I started working full time and doing all kinds of things and volunteering. And now that they're gone, they're done with college, they're married and all that.
Well, I suspect that when they move off, she might get back into nursing. And
because it gets boring. But it's never boring around me. Anyway, David, we're going to take a short break. Please don't go away. Welcome back. I'm here with David Davis, and we're talking about Chamber of Commerce. We're talking about McDonald's. You have the 2 McDonald's here in Dublin, and where else in the central Georgia?
I have stores in Milledgeville and in Sandersville.
And you have one each, or you have more than one?
Sandersville, we have 1 store there, and then in Milledgeville, we have to have 3 locations there.
Yes.
There's one downtown in Milledgeville, down by the college, and then we have one
by the mall,
up by the mall on the bypass up there. And then we also have one up there. They have a Super Walmart. We actually have a location in the Walmart up there. So there's 3 stores up there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mentioned to you, I spent a lot of time in Milledgeville and those places working. I know that a lot of big chains are not always members of the Chamber of Commerce. What can we do? What do you think that we can do in order to attract them to be members of our Chamber of Commerce?
Well, a lot of big companies, I think they see joining the Chamber, and they have 1,000 locations across the country, and they just see it as an expense. But when you build a location in Dublin or any town, then you become local.
Right.
And you are a local business. And I think it's just a little short-sighted of some big companies not to recognize that.
Right.
And so, I think it's an investment, not an expense.
There you go.
And so, again, what we can do, hopefully, we can convince some of the local people, and it can work its way back up to see it as an investment, and maybe get some of the local people involved and invite them to some of the meetings that we have, the business after hours, and just see the networking, the resources, and the opportunities that we have here in Dublin to, for more commerce, for their business to do better.
Exactly.
I mean, somebody might say, well, McDonald's, what good does it do you to be there at the business after hours? We're going to come to McDonald's or not, and it doesn't make much difference who owns it.
But it does.
But it does. And, again, an example is we do breakfast for businesses, for business meetings.
Exactly.
I've talked to people about that. We do it for schools. Mm-hmm. There's one school in particular every week. They get a large order of biscuits from us, and it's a fundraiser for them. And, so there's a lot of opportunities as if you're a big chain and you think you have the advertising exposure that you need and that you don't need that local networking. It's really misguided, and
it is.
And I think they could see the value of being if they got involved locally and talk to some of the business and resources we have here.
Yes, and I think that if you build friendship with your community, and that's a way to get in there, and people will go there feeling visiting a friend.
Yeah.
You
Well, you're
know?
right. If they don't get involved, they continue to be
Just a very
big
cold chain.
a big chain that's not connected to the community as opposed to being a part of it and a face of it and somebody that they identify with that business.
And that goes along with not only food chains, but there is also like banks and things like that. They're so big that they really don't want to have any ties with the community. And I think that they're missing big time.
They really are. And again, we have so many resources here in Dublin, Lawrence County, and there's over 500 members of the chamber, and I think there's about 1,400 businesses in Lawrence County, and that really shocked me. So so if you go to the website, look at the directory, there's many resources there, but there's a lot of opportunity for us to generate more commerce here locally through the help of the chamber and the exposure of the chamber. But we just need to convince some of the people to get involved and the benefits of that.
And the benefits, everybody will benefit. We consider our community green and growing. How that apply for the restaurant business, specifically to the McDonald's?
Yeah, well, in today's society, there's always competition, which competition is good, but there's always the opportunity to look for what can we do better, how can we do it better, how can we offer more offerings. McDonald's gives me great resources, obviously, and they're always trying to innovate and do more and grow. Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, he always said, if you're green, you're growing, but if you're right, you rot. So, so that's the other side of it.
Yes.
But yeah, so we've had a lot of innovations. And if you go through our drive-through there in town, we have the 2 order points where you can order at both places, and that's something that they innovated, and most places don't offer that, but it's a way to be more efficient. Obviously, the investment that we're going to put into the I-16 store and the new one, and you can always do a lot of remodeling, but you always have an old facility at that point. So doing what we need to do there and expanding that store and where that store was built 30-some years ago, it's not really where the equipment goes today, where it's just not set up for today's business and how we do business in that store.
Right.
They really do a good job as far as growing the business and trying to be innovative. We've got a lot of products that we didn't have, 5 or 10 years ago.
Exactly.
We had the McCafe coffees, the espresso-based coffees. We have a lot of offering with the kids' meals now that we didn't have. With apples, yogurt. Now we have these little cuties, little oranges that we're offering with the Happy Meal. So a lot of different food options. People.
And for those who are concerned about gaining weight or the children gaining weight, instead of the fries, they have the apples, different choices.
Right, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of choices there, so people can have that option if they choose to.
If they choose to.
Yeah.
You know that a few years ago I went to Japan, and of course I had to go to McDonald's in Japan.
Yeah.
And it was a 2-story, it was 2 floors, but it was so crowded that in one table, like if you're sitting at a table, people will sit with you. People share tables. The space was so crowded.
Yeah.
But going out, I remember they had like the garbage, the straws go in here, this go in here, the cups go in here. It was like amazing and so organized or disorganized, I don't know, but it was crazy. But we have to try it. We have to see how it is.
Yeah, it's interesting, different cultures and how the McDonald's actually operate a little differently, according to the local culture.
To the local culture, it's true.
And so they have a lot of different offerings, and they offer, of course, based on the local palate, and
That's right.
And so, and some of the things as far as that what you mentioned would be the recycling.
The recycling.
And that is.
Yeah, on your way out, you had to just go to like 20 different things. You know, your forks in here. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna take another short break, and we'll be right back.
La Quinta Inn and Suites is a proud member of the business community and the community at large. La Quinta is still #1, providing wonderful accommodations for residents and the professional community. Take advantage of La Quinta's large meeting room, business center, and all can enjoy a delicious breakfast while staying at La Quinta Inn and Suites of Dublin. Thank you to the business community and to everyone who wake up on the bright side. La Quinta Inn and Suites managing partner, Suresh Patel. Assistant General Manager, Dana Kinsler. Call La Quinta Inn and Suites at 272-3110 or log on to lq.com.
Thank you for staying with us. I'm here with David Davis. We're talking about the chamber. We're talking about McDonald's. And there's so many questions that comes to my mind. Let's talk about education.
Okay.
I know that is extremely important for all of us. I know that when I moved to Dublin, my first thing was to go to all the schools and make sure that my children were going to great, wonderful schools. And is it hard for you to find good people to work at McDonald's for you?
You know, we have to definitely go through the interview process with a lot of different people.
Right.
And it is important that our schools are educating our children like they need to be. And, you know, we have we talked earlier about a lot of people who say that's their first job at McDonald's.
Yes.
And you know, but you know, that education, because it can be your first job, it can be a summer job. And I have many people where they started out that way and they're still working with me and they've made a career out of it.
A career,
and,
yes.
And, you know, so the educational part is very important.
Yes.
And, you know, the other part is education and the education with computers and computer literacy. You know, that's a very big thing now as far as advancement, and in all companies is their computer literacy as well.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it is, you know, the education's one part, how you come in, how you present yourself, what's your demeanor.
Yes, and the customer service,
yes,
which is part of the education, I guess. I don't care if I go to a place where the food is not the best in the world, but if they make me feel great, and if the customer service is wonderful, and the person is just, I'll be back.
Yeah,
I'll go back.
Well, that's right, and I tell my employees all the time, you know, if you let them know you care about taking their order, you care about waiting on them, if there's a problem, they're a lot more likely to overlook that and accept that and go on. If somebody you wait on feels that you're rude, you're talking to someone else, you're not attentive, they definitely, then there's a problem, then they're a lot likely to get upset. So there's some basic things that, you know, that we see in a lot of people that have a lot of potential as far as when they come in for the interview, how are they dressed and just what their demeanor is. But once they get the foot in the door, again, that education is real important. We have, you know, again, people that we promote from within, and that's what I really like to do is try to promote into my management ranks from within. You know, they know the job, and so again, with if they've done their work in school and they've focused on getting their education, again, they can
sky's the limit.
They can really you know, have advancement within the store. And
what kind of benefits does McDonald's have for people that work in there?
Yeah, well, you know, as coming in as you get into the management portion of it, at different levels. We offer obviously uniforms, meals.
And training, I'm sure.
Yes, the training, all is in-house. You know, we offer insurance benefits with our management people.
Yes.
Profit sharing. We have retirement programs.
That is great.
For our management people as well. Again, there's a lot of opportunities there that you can look forward to if you apply yourself, do the work that you're asked to do, and and I have a lot of examples of people that have been with me for 15, 20 years.
There you go.
That have made a career out of it, and just really proud to see some of those people from where they started to where
yes, and where they're now,
and where they're at now. So
yes.
So yeah, the education that's the first step is how you act and your education, and you can go anywhere from there. So.
Very important. Yeah. David, thank you so much.
Okay. Well,
I really enjoy our talk.
I did too. Yeah.
And all of you, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.